Hi, good evening. My name is Denise McCabe and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia on the New South Wales Central Coast, and this is my Facebook Live on a Wednesday evening. So let's just bear with me and I will find you over on my laptop. And so I hope everyone's had a nice day today. And let's just expand that. There we go. I found you. Yay, now I can see comments. Okay, so this is my Wednesday evening Facebook Live, and tonight we're gonna play with some new products that are coming in January from the new Mini Catalogue and Celebration brochure. So we're gonna play with a bundle called Dainty Delight Bundle. So it's a cling stamp set and matching dies. And the bundle is $96.25, so that makes you eligible for a celebration purchase in January. And in the celebration catalogue, there is a pack of designer series paper called Dainty Flowers 12 by 12, and it matches this bundle. So it's perfect that if you buy the bundle, you can buy you will get the matching designer series paper for free. So I shall put my phone up into the holder and we shall get started playing with some new product. So I can see there's a couple of people watching, so hello to those watching. So let me just get that sorted. And I will just zoom in a little bit. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Okay, so this is the stamp set. It's called Dainty Delight, and it's cling stamp, red rubber. Hi, Lynn, how are you? How's your black eye? It's a red rubber stamp set, and I've only mounted one so far. So that's the one we'll be stamping with. So it's beautiful little sprays of flowers. This is the die set, the Dainty Delight dies. So there's a lot of dies there. I haven't done anything with these dies. And this is the designer series paper. So you may have seen some people playing with this and using some of the beautiful papers. The back of the papers, or the B side of the papers, are really beautiful. I really love this piece because you can cut it in half and make 6 very simple and quick and easy cards. And these ones the oval frames, as far as I know, don't cut this. Nice shade of purple now. What Stampin' Up! Colour purple. Fresh freesia, rich raspberry. So I don't believe the oval dies from the framed florets work with these ovals, but you can cut them and work with them on card fronts. They're the ones I've been seeing a lot of people using, so I tried to avoid that. But look at the back, it's so pretty. It's like a wash with splatters all over it, and then you've got some fresh freesia spotty paper. It's very pretty paper, and you get it for free with a $90 purchase in January. So so I'm using this one tonight, and I'm going to use the front and the back. Okay, so I shall put that on the floor. My craft room is a disaster. So I started getting things ready, and I was going to have a sample card ready to show you, but I didn't get that far. But I've cut out some scalloped oval dies, contour dies from this die set. So I've used this one here, the third largest or the third smallest, whichever way you look at it. So I've cut 2 of those out, and this was going to be my sample card to show you, but we're just going to make both tonight, I figured. I've already gone ahead and run my rich raspberry piece through the time-worn type embossing folder. So that's that. So we're just going to have a little play. So I've got my basic basic white A5 cardstock for my card base, and I've got my already embossed piece of cardstock, the time worn type piece of cardstock, and I've got a 5 centimeter strip of the designer series paper, 5 centimeter wide strip. Just make sure it's 5. It's actually 5.5. I lied. By 14.4. So we're just going to attach that to a piece of embossed cardstock. So this is a really hard one to cover up the back of the paper. Well, let's just face it, all of them are hard to cover up. So, rich raspberry. Well, that's terrible. I'm sorry your eye's that colour. So I'm going to leave a little border and just put my piece of designer series paper on. Now, I cut these both the same size, but when you run a piece of cardstock through the embossing machine, it does actually shrink it down a very small fraction. So it's made my piece of designer series paper just a fraction too long. So I'm just going to trim that off. It is a beautiful colour though, Lynn, but not for on your eye. So that's going to be going onto our card base. Now you can see I've got something stamped on the back. This was some pre-stamped cardstock I already had, but I've turned it over. I'm using this side. So this side, this stamp set's retired now, so I figured I don't need to make any more cards with that. I will turn it over and use the clear side. So I'm going to get my spray of flowers out that I have put onto the sticker, or I have put the sticker onto my honestly, my craft room is an absolute mess. It's like a bomb's gone off in it. I've got Christmas presents wrapped. I've got one more to wrap. I've got cards in containers all over the floor. Hi Jenny, how are you? So I'm just stinking this up with black stays on. No, not black, so black memento. And I'm just going to stamp this on my little contour die. So I am getting some of it not all onto the die piece, but I don't mind. That's okay. So we might as well stamp our other one as well, and then that will be done. So we'll do both at the same time. 2 for the price of 1. Okay, so that's that stamped. So I'll just get my chamois and give that a clean. So it's sort of nice to be playing with some new products after focusing so much on Christmas. I still got a few little Christmas cards up my sleeve for the next couple of lives or Makeup Monday, but I thought tonight let's just play with some new stuff. Yeah, so I'll get rid of that. And we shall get some stamping blends. Now, because these aren't large images, we don't really need to, like the colouring's not going to take a lot. So always on the back of your designer series paper, it will tell you the colours that are used in it. So Blushing Bride, Crushed Curry, Fresh Freesia, Mossy Meadow, Old Olive. I thought it was Old Olive, but I wanted to double check. So that's, I probably should have had these out, but I didn't. Fresh Freesia, Rich Raspberry. I don't know if there's a Rich Raspberry blend. There is. And Blushing Bride. I don't think there's a Petal Pink, but I don't think there's a Blushing Bride. Let's get my dark petal pink. That will probably work. Okay. And you don't have to use the colours that are in the paper, but it then tends to make sense to do that. Okay, so let's start with the old olive. So as I said, because these are very dainty, as the stamp set's called, Dainty Delight, there's not a huge amount of colouring to be done. So I'm just going to touch these little leaves with the old olive. I'm not going to worry about blending or anything like that. Now you could use your Stampin' Write markers, you could use watercolour pencils. You don't have to use blends. So I'm just going to touch these leaves with a bit of old olive. Mossy Meadow was one of the other colours, but yeah. So that's that. I might use light Rich Razzleberry. And do some of the little flowers in Rich Razzleberry. So yeah, it's not hard colouring in, and you don't have to be that precise really if you don't want to be. I'm just thinking, I don't want all of them in Rich Razzleberry. So I hope everyone's got their Christmas shopping done, or nearly done. It's sort of getting to that crunch time, isn't it? Where you just want to be finished by now. And so this is light fresh freesia. I'm just wondering whether I should do petal pink. Yeah, let's do petal pink. Yeah, it's getting to crunch time. We've only got one more to buy, and that's my elderly mother-in-law, and my husband's going to look after that one. So that's the last one we've got to do. So this is fresh freesia. I'm just putting it on these. I don't know what you call these. And these sprays here, I'm not even going to try to do anything with, because they're a little bit, you know, too minuscule. I will try and put some little leaf colour here, and there's another leaf down here. So that's all the colouring I'm going to do on that. Hi Matt. That's my beautiful son. He's jumped on. I didn't even know that he was ever going to watch me. So we're just going to put some dimensionals on the back here. I'm looking forward to Boxing Day, Matt. Just thought I'd share. So yeah. You made me nervous. Okay, so we're just going to put that right there. And then, so this just shows how easy and simple you can make a card. It doesn't have to be too technical. You can either use punches or dies to cut shapes out. And yeah, it doesn't have to be that technical at all. And just, when you've got an embossed piece of cardstock, just press down a little bit harder when you're gluing it, because sometimes the glue doesn't sort of adhere straight away. Okay, now I did get my scalloped oval punch out, but I don't think I want that. I think I'm just going to go, because I've got this Go-To Greetings, which I really love. And I thought I'd just do Just a Note. Where is it? Just a Note. And I thought I would do Rich Razzleberry. And look, I've got a piece of scrap here. Oops. Sorry, is that my head coming in and blocking the camera? I think it could be. I'll have to stop doing that. Well, look at that. Look what you find when you open your Rich Razzleberry. A backing to a dimensional. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little practice down here. Oh, look, there's another backing to a dimensional. Where are they coming from? Okay, so just going to stamp that down. That was a bit tight. Now that definitely wasn't my head then. And I'll get my other favourite punch, my banner punch. And look at that, it's 1/2 inch, perfect. And I shall just put this here. This is the way I do it to get a similar distance from either end. And cut it off and prick it back in. It's a bit hard when it's only short. Maybe we won't flag the other end because that's going to be a little bit wide. I don't know why it's blacking out. I hope it's not blacking out for you guys. I'm watching the screen and it just keeps blacking out. Why is it doing that? I do not know. Okay, so I've got that in. I do want to flag both ends, so I'm just going to have to persevere. There we go. Okay, so that's my little sentiment, and we might get the purples brush and just flick around the edges here. And I might put that up on dimensionals. I do not know. Is it blacking out? Is when it's on the screen? Is it keep sort of flashing? Because it's doing it on my laptop, so I hope it's not doing that for you guys. Just a note. And I shall get some. Oh, that's good then. It must be just my laptop then. Oh, as long as it's not doing it for you guys, that's the main thing. Okay, iridescent pearls. I think we might put on this one because it's a bit disturbing for me because I keep seeing the screen black out and I don't know why it's doing it. But anyway, as long as it's not doing that for you. So we might put one up here and one here and one here. Whoops, not there. There. So that's one card done. How cool and quick is that, using the beautiful designer series paper? Now what I want to do is make another card with one of the not flashing. Oh, hi Margie. Oh, that's good. I'm glad it's not flashing and blacking out for you guys. Seems to be doing it for me. But that's good. I'm glad it's not happening. So this is the reverse side of that paper. How pretty is it? So I just wanted to do exactly the same card but with the reverse. I thought that might be an interesting look, just to show you. Flip the paper over and this is what it looks like. So I haven't actually embossed this yet, so I shall run that through the embossing folder. And I thought I might also use a couple of the dies. So let's put that up there. And get the emboss machine. seeing that I haven't used any of the dies, I thought we might just run a couple through and stick them onto this card as well. So just put that into the Time Worn type embossing folder and we'll wind that through. There we go. And then, so that's Fresh Freesia, this cardstock. So that's that. And I think we shall get some rich razzleberry scrap out. And let's see which die I should use. Maybe this one. This one looks pretty, doesn't it? Oh, it's stuck on with the sticky tape. I've gone around these dies because there's so many in the pack. I'm not quite sure how many. Let's see. Does it say? $16. And I thought, there's so many there, I'm going to lose a couple before I decide the best way to put them in a folder or whatever. Oh, look. Anybody would think I'd planned that on purpose, that strip of cardstock. But I hadn't. Okay, so depending on how this die looks, we might do our paper a different way round. So sorry about the table wobbling. It just seems to do that when I run a die through. So that looks pretty good. And now I'm looking for, I'll use this one. Oh, there it is. I found it. This one. So it's got little bits that pop out. So I shall just get rid of this. And pop that away. So who's ready for Christmas? Is anybody else ready for Christmas? Or is that just a terrible thing to ask? It probably is a terrible thing to ask, and I apologise. Okay. So they're all popped out. So that's a really pretty die, isn't it? So I'm just wondering how I want to do this. We'll get rid of the card base. And we might put it over this side this time, and maybe right over to the edge. So this is the same. It's 5.5 centimetres wide. This piece of Designer Series paper. And I'm just thinking, we'll put that over like that, and then this can go on top. So let's just work with that. So we shall get some. Now, I am putting on it this way round. I know these flowers are upside down, but I just think it looks better with the bigger blobs up the top. So I had a coffee with my daughter today, and her fiance came as well. He rocked on up on his motorbike after he'd been to the gym, and that was nice. And it's his birthday tomorrow, so wished him a happy birthday. December birthdays are always tricky, aren't they? I'm a June birthday, so I don't have that trickiness. I'm not a tricky person. Okay, so I'm going to attach that to our card base. Make sure I'm not putting it on back to front. So this piece of cardstock's Fresh Freesia, one of the in colours that will be going next year. It's such a pretty colour. I do like it. Oh, we've got fresh freezer ribbon. We could add some ribbon maybe as well. See, I can't help myself. Once I get going, I just want to embellish. Okay, so we've got our little spray and we've got our little colour piece that we've got to colour in. So let's just quickly colour it so it doesn't take long. You saw that the other one didn't take that long. So I'll do Old Olive. I've got dark Old Olive there this time round. Just going to quickly put some Old Olive onto the leaves. So I'm the last man standing at work. My other two work colleagues have left for holidays already. One's on a South Pacific cruise, so I hope she doesn't get COVID. And the other one flew out to America today because her daughter and son-in-law live over in America now. So she flew out for 4 weeks. So I'm last man standing. So, and we've still got about 4 consulting days left and a couple of scoping days or procedure days. And I've got to try and do it all by myself, and I'm not too impressed. Not too impressed at all. Okay, so this is Dark Rich Razzleberry. So I'll do those bigger flowers in that colour. So yeah, I guess if I don't get through all the work, I don't get through it all. And that's just the way I've got to look at it. Because our rooms are closing for 2 weeks. So next Thursday is my last day. So I will just have to try my best. But I am going to ask that next year nobody leaves before Christmas. Because everybody wants their procedure before Christmas. Well, now they're not going to get it. So, up until last week, people were still hoping to get in to see a specialist before Christmas. And like, come on guys, get a life. That's not going to happen. Okay, so that was Dark Rich Razzleberry. I think we might go with some Petal Pink to lighten up the situation. And we can do some Highland Heather. So it is very dainty, like it's not Highland Heather, Fresh Freezer I mean, like its name, Dainty Delights. Okay. I normally don't do lots of colouring in on my videos because it takes too long. So I hope it's okay that we're just doing a little bit. That will do. Oops. Now, I think I shall get my silicone mat and my glue, and I will just put a little bit of glue on the leaves. I could use my sponge to dauber some on, but I think there'll be enough with the leaves. Maybe I'll just put a little bit on the stems, just a little bit. There we go, that should be enough. And I'll just grab it and put it around like so. There we go. So even though we've used our cut emboss machine, it's really not a difficult card. This is the back of my card stock that I'm using up. because we all know there's two sides to every piece of cardstock. So we can always use up a stamped side, turn it over and use the other side. So that's probably how I got the dimensional backings onto things. So I'm just going to put that, or will I do it down so you get a bit more of the splodge showing? That might be nice. Like, is that straight? Don't let it stick until you've got it straight. Yes, that's straight. Okay, so that's that. There we go. And here's my other little, so we might make this one just a note as well with rich raspberry. My paper's obviously had moisture on it and it's starting to stand up a bit. Oh, this one's hard to close. Let's leave that till later. We do not want to get into trouble. And I'm just going to cut this one, and I might just flag this one myself, but just at one end. Because if you try to do it too small a piece into your punch, it does make it very tricky. Make sure that's not going to smudge. There we go. And we could just stick that under here like so. Okay, just going to go around the edges with this. There we go. And we could just stick it, or we could put it up. No, I like it up there. And I might do that one flat. There we go, guys. I've gone over the half hour a little bit. Sorry about that. I do like to try and keep my videos to half an hour. But sometimes, well, we did make 2 cards. Okay, so let's see. I do have some Fresh Freesia bling here. This is retired bling, but it's not the retired colour, so I'll put those there. So let's get some of these out and use them up, because they are already retired. I'll just put them there because there's already splatters there. So that is our card, our 2 cards, and they're pretty much identical. I've just used the same strip of Designer Series paper. I just turned this one over to use the B side. This is the A side, this is the B side. This is Rich Raspberry, this is Fresh Freesia. I've run them both through the embossing folder, the Time Worn Type embossing folder. I've used the scallop contour die for our little bit of stamping, and there are 2 cards. So these are the Dainty Delights dies. We just use one of the 16 dies. So there's still a lot to explore in that die pack. And this is the Dainty Delights stamp set. So that is coming in the new January to April mini catalogue. It's $96.25, and with that you would qualify for the Dainty Delights, the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper in the Celebration brochure. So you get this pack of paper for free, which matches this bundle. So it's a really nice bundle, and it's lovely when you can get matching papers. I'll do some more playing with this bundle and the paper. The sentiment comes from Go To Greetings in the annual catalogue. I really love this stamp set. It's a great greeting stamp set. And I did use the banner punch on this one, but I just did this myself because it was a little bit hard to get to. So there are our cards for our Wednesday night Facebook. I hope you enjoyed that, seeing a little sneak peek of some new products. And I'll be back on Friday in the afternoon at 2 o'clock for my next Facebook Live. Thanks, ladies, for watching. Bye for now.